I've got a live closing call that we're going to be going through today. Super exciting, cool stuff. It's from my boy Jared, who was in my last video, and I said in that video that it was his first time closing. I thought it was. I later find out he had been doing this for like 5 years. Sorry, I recorded that video not knowing who I was going to throw in later into the edit. So let's get right into this call, shall we?
Hey,
Hey, Jared, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. How you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
All right, on man. Where are you from? What city you in?
I am in New York, Long Island, New York.
Right on, dude. Yeah, a little different than me. I was born and raised in Canada, West Coast.
Oh, okay. Oh, West Coast. Okay. Yeah, on the East Coast.
Dude, I see you're driving right now. Dude, you want to just run inside real quick if you're at home?
Yeah, if you don't mind, yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, dude, it's all totally fine, totally fine.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to just fast forward through the parts and just summarize for you guys what the prospect is saying. So basically where the prospect is at, he runs a trucking business. It's a lot of physical labor. He's got a couple kids and he invests a lot of energy and time into it, and he's not seeing a lot of rewards, and he's been doing that for like the past 20 years. So he wants to get out of this thing.
All makes sense, dude. So what's ultimately the goal? So get out of trucking. Let's start kind of step by step. So to get out of trucking, how much money do you need to make to kind of put that on the side burner?
Okay, so right here, he basically asks in a nice way, how much money are you making, in a way that's not making him say it. And then he says to him back, I'm making $1,500 a week now, but if I'm crushing like 10K a month, that would allow me to sell my business and I could just go full time into this.
That seems like that's pretty doable.
Yeah, dude, totally doable. What do you think's past that? You're making 10K a month. Why is it important we get to that mark? Aside from getting out of trucking, what would you do with your time?
He basically just talks about how much more he'd like to travel. He's got an 8-year-old, a 12-year-old, and he wants to just give them more experiences of traveling as well.
Support and be able to do what we want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How you said your wife does crypto and day trading and stuff? How's that going?
Right. So she started doing that, and I mean, from the outside looking in, because I really don't know much about it, but it seems like it's very, very involved. You know, the amount of time that she has to watch, the graphs. The
answer that the prospect gives here, because he's probing in, how's that going for you? He says it's going well for her, but it wouldn't go well for me because I'm a people person and I'm not a tech person. Jared is basically asking this question to disqualify that as a potential opportunity for him. What do you do if that seems like that's a better path for him?
At the end of the day, I'm there to service the person I'm talking to and the prospect above everything else, above getting the sale, above me making money, above me hitting numbers or quotas or projections. If it's a better path for them, and I genuinely believe that that's a better path, then I'm going to help them understand why I say that. And yeah, I'm going to let them go down that path.
It's tough trying to juggle both of them and still be able to do everything that you want to do. You know what I mean?
Totally. I get that, dude. What does your normal workday look like? When do you get on the road? When do you come home?
So I usually start around 6 a.m. and today was a late day. Usually I'm done by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
You can actually make a list of the problems that you know your product or service solves. Jared asks a question that he knows the product solves. So if he asks him, what are your hours like? And they're just garbage hours that no one wants to work. You're going to see, he's going to say hey, you're going from 8-hour days now to maybe 4 or 5-hour days. That's going to give you more time with your family.
Right.
And around the wife, have you had the conversations with the wife around wanting to get out of the trucking? Are they supportive? Are we still having that conversation? Yeah.
Tried to sell the business a year ago, didn't work out. He's already got a sign off from the wife. That's a perfect example of pre-handling objections.
Can I share some thoughts with you, some feedback, kind of what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And dude, correct me if I'm off or if I'm missing the mark or anything, but I mean, you've said it a few times. Firstly, it sounds like we've just identified you've reached the ceiling and you've gotten everything you can out of the trucking job. And there's nowhere left really to grow. And I think you're just not satisfied. You might be happy. It sounds like trucking provided a good life for you. But if I came to you and said, hey, Dustin, are you 100% satisfied and okay settling with what you're doing now? If I were to replicate the last 20 years of your life and duplicate it over the next 20, are you 100% satisfied and okay just staying like that? And it sounds like the answer is no.
Jared does a great job at summarizing where he's at right now. Repeat back what you've heard and they'll give you the same response. Yes, no, or yes, and. basically continue to repeat back what you're hearing until they say, yes, you've got it. And at that point, that releases so much control for the prospect because they can trust you knowing that you understand where they're at. So I think that's a killer play. That's a mark of a good salesperson, someone who can listen and listen. Really, it's just a skill of listening.
I think the one word to use, or the one word I can use to like encapsulate or summarize where you're at, what you're looking for, is control. Like, you want control over your time a little bit more. You want control over your location, where you're working from, control over your income, have more possibility to make more. And I think you just recognize you have a little bit more potential than like what the trucking job's allowing you to kind of fulfill.
Right. And then the other thing is, like you said, the freedom, because when I do want to go on vacation, a ski trip, or, you know, visit family or whatever, I have to find someone to cover for me. And, you know, it's a process.
Can you really pitch anything until you get them on, like what you said, like your side of the fire?
No. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Especially when we get down to the nitty gritty and we have to help people like overcome their objections and limiting beliefs. You're not even gonna have a shot if you don't help them understand that you actually care and you get it.
Let's say we work 5 hours a day, 5 days a week. So 25 hours a week or 100 hours a month. And we average 1 set per hour, which isn't even that good. But so that means every month you set 100 appointments. All right. And let's say the likelihood of those sets actually closing, or those appointments closing, 20%. So that means out of every 100 people you book, 20% close. And if you get paid $300 per close, 20 times 300, that's $6,000 a month right there.
Right.
Just in commissions. Then you add on your 2.5 a month base pay, and dude, now you're making like 8.5K a month, making 6 figures a year as an appointment setter, working like 5 hours a day.
And then as an appointment setter, do you have specific hours that you have to work, or is it the same thing as like you're saying, you decide when, or does it depend also what time zone that you're dealing with, I would imagine too, right?
You completely choose. Yeah, you dictate that. So
okay. The other important thing to the prospect is time. So he breaks down very clearly how working this job is going to allow him to have more time with his kids.
Right. So now you get to control your own life, and you choose, like, you can structure your work around your life and not have to like squeeze in your life around when you're working.
Exactly. That's, you know what, you said it perfectly right. Squeezing in that's basically what I do, squeeze in my life around my work schedule. That is very true. That sounds great. I mean, that's basically exactly what I'm looking for.
This is a really solid spot to be that like 90% of salespeople don't ever get to, because now you and the prospect are in this plane seat together and you are both aware of where you're headed to, you know, the problem that's currently stopping you from getting there, and you know the current situation of what's going on around you. You're both aware of that. So like you're in this together. So now we can just get into like the specifics of what the program looks like. And before getting into the specifics, he just wanted to double check, like, hey, before I do that, like, what other questions do you have for me?
Basically exactly what I'm looking for.
So dude, what other questions do you have for me, just on like what it means to be an appointment setter or closer? Or do you feel like that's pretty clear and you just want to talk about how we can help you?
Apparently, right, you have to buy I guess it's a course, right?
Yeah, there's an investment.
Dude, I love how you said that. Like, you always bring it back to like the investment.
What does it cost? What is it going to cost me? Well, it's not going to cost you anything. There's a big difference between a cost and an investment. There's an investment.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're right. Am I right? You want to talk about the investment?
Yeah, dude, I love that so much.
Let me just give you like the breakdown of like what our program looks like, et cetera. It'll probably help answer all the questions you have around like what the training looks like. So Dustin, it also ultimately goes down to 3 steps.
So then he goes into the specifics. The specifics for this offer, I'm going to cut out of this video because it's literally not important. Like, you just tell them what you get. So it's a 3-week gym program and you get your own personal trainer, and then there's a diet plan. And once you have your diet plan, you have a blah, 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 blah.
That's good to hear. Definitely. I like that. Okay.
Dude, what questions do you have for me, just on like the training, the process, the timeline?
So he basically breaks down the offer A to Z in like four or 5 minutes, something like that. It's not super long at all, 4 or 5 minutes. And then after he finishes, and by the way, he's not just talking straight to the guy. Like, he's doing like 80% of the talking, but like every now and then he'll pop in with like a question, or he'll say something back to him.
And what is the cost of that?
Yeah. First thing, I'm going to challenge you a little bit. There's a difference between a cost and an investment. It's not going to cost you anything. There's an investment for the program.
Right.
We're just about to talk about that. Oh, and dude, I forgot real quick. We also have a guarantee. Like, dude, we didn't just start doing this yesterday.
Right.
Start teaching people closing. We've helped hundreds, if not thousands of people learn how to do this. And so our process is proven, like our training is proven. If you just come in and do the work and do what you're supposed to, we'll give you a guarantee. And it basically states if you go through all the training, you meet with your sales coach at least 6 out of 12 times, and you do 30 practice calls, and you don't get a job, you're not happy, we'll give you a full refund.
That sounds pretty, pretty good. Pretty good deal.
Dude, it's amazing. Like, it's like, if you just do the work, you'll be successful. And if not, dude.
Yeah, I like that.
So what Jared's doing that's really good here is he's getting all the questions out of the way before dropping the price, so that when the guy drops the price, all there really is to say is yes or no. And with that being said, we've got the price drop. Now, just for context, you need to know that there's really two offers someone can buy. Remote Closing Academy has 30-day DC, which is a smaller program, and then the Remote Closing Academy, which is a higher price ticket program.
Okay, so the investment's a one-time investment, meaning we're never going to ask you for more money. We're never going to come in and like take a cut of your commissions. One time.
Okay. And that is paid all up front, or how does that work? How's the payment work?
Yeah, it kind of depends. Most people just put it on like a credit card and we get them rocking and rolling.
And what is the 30-day closing? You said obviously it's basic, but what is that? What's the outline of that?
Who cares? Dude, you don't need that. And I'll work with you on this, but like this is where you need to be.
Look at his face. I just love the way he's just like, like don't fucking worry about it, bro. But and so what does the fucking prospect respond to?
Okay.
He's just like, okay.
Right. So let me ask you this, and I'm not asking like how you feel about in terms of like your personal bank account right now, but if everything goes the way we're talking about it going, do you think it's worth it investing dollars to learn how to do this?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I don't think there's any argument against that, to be honest.
I agree.
And boom, right there, he's got his first commitment. And I think he gets him to like commit to himself and this program like 6 times. Pro moves right here. Get ready.
All right. So dude, my next question is it doable? Like, could you put down without like putting you in a bad spot financially?
At this present time, not really. I mean, realistically, I would probably need a couple months to get my finances in order,
Right. And dude, to be super candid with you, Cole recognizes that not every person we talk to are going to come in and be in a situation where they can just like invest the full today. Maybe 50% can, but the other 50%, like that's why they talk to us in the first place. So dude, if I truly feel like you're going to be successful, which I do, I think you'll crush this and this will change your life and like your entire family's life. I can break up the investment and we can create some sort of payment plan and get pretty creative with like how to make this work. So we can start paying without needing like the full down today.
Okay.
My next question for you, dude, is if you had the money right now and it didn't put you in a weird spot, would you do it 100%?
Yeah, I would.
There's the second commitment. He can only really say no now and feel good about it if it does put him in a weird spot financially. You know what I mean?
So second follow-up question to that is, dude, if I can help you find a way to make this work, like around your current finances, getting pretty creative and making sure we're not doing anything that's going to put us in a bad spot, like, are you open to figuring that out with me?
Yeah. I need to do something. I really do. And like I said, from what I can see out there, this is something that is the most beneficial and perfect for the lifestyle that I want to live.
Third commitment here, he's getting his permission to essentially break down his finances with him and find a potential way to purchase this program. Okay, then they basically just go into like nuances about like what are his options, like how much money does he have in the bank, and like how much does he have in credit, and like what are his expenses, just to find out like where he's at with the finances, how much cash he has available. And they find like, yeah, like he's got money in credit that he can spend on the program, but he doesn't have enough money to finance the entire operation right now.
So dude, there's definitely a way to make this work, 1000%. Right? Before I give you my plan of action on what I think we should do, dude, let me ask you again, like 100%, we want to do this. Like the only thing stopping us from just like jumping in right now is money and finances.
Yes.
There you go. Commitment number 4. He's basically saying like, bro, like if I figure out this money thing, you're not going to come back at me with like a, I got to talk to the wife or something like that, right? Like this is the only thing. Yes. Okay, let's keep going. So then Jared goes into like a specific of how we can make up the extra money. He basically gives him a really, really smart, creative way of getting the money. He says, apply for a credit line at this credit card that he knows of where it's 0% interest. You can take it off the credit for a year and a half. Okay, pay the minimum payment so that you're paying like something like $300 a month. And then after 2 months, you can pay off the entire credit line. And then that way you're building up your credit, you're financing the deal, and you're, building up a new skill set for essentially $0 of your own money.
I'm going to give you the link for that so you can start filling it out with me here and I'll walk you through the process.
Okay.
But dude, let's use one of your credit cards. Let's just put down $1,000. So then while you're applying for that, I can go get you set up in the program. I can start creating your login, book your call with your coach, start getting that set up. While you do that, they're going to approve you. And then we can just put the rest of it on that. And worst case, if they don't approve you, then we can come back and just kind of figure out another way to do it.
So let me think now.
He was getting a little nervous. He was getting a little scared and getting a little bit like cold feet. So I wanted to get the commitment right there because we still had like 20 to 30 minutes of like going through the application process and a lot of steps to like get through. So I got that $1,000 right then. So then like he was in, like he committed, he was in. Then like for him, like he already just committed so much that he's not going to back out of the credit application because he's already deep and so deep,
If you just get someone to put down like $100 on a $10,000 product or whatever it is, like just that small amount of commitment is enough to psychologically tell yourself that like I'm invested in this thing, I have to move forward on it. And do you think he says yes right off the bat? No, he doesn't say yes off the bat. And again, this is where a seasoned closer comes into play.
Just to review, put $1,000 on a credit card, then open a line of credit for the rest of it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll walk you through that whole process. This is probably how like 40% of people I talk to do it. Dude, it's just like the smartest way.
I mean, it is a big investment, and it is all new to me. So that is the only thing that I'm laying out right now is, it is new and it's a big investment. Why do you say don't start with the 30-day and then eventually go to the master?
And then we've got objection number 2, which is a combination of like a finance objection and like a personal belief objection. A personal belief objection is just like, I don't personally believe that I can do this, like I can be successful with this. So he's having doubts in himself to invest this big chunk of money. So then he follows up with a question of like, why can't I do the smaller thing down here? Like, why do I have to start with this big thing that's like so new and foreign to me? Which is a reasonable question.
And like, dude, if we want to give ourselves the best shot of making sure this is successful, come work with us in the program. Which again, dude, like there's no sense in not doing it because we were backed by a guarantee. It's like even if you come in and do the work and nothing works, dude, in the contract, there's a guarantee. It's like worst case, if it doesn't work, then dude, you can just go find something else. Which again, dude, I don't think that's going to be the case. Like you're going to come in and crush it. I think you've just lacked like a really clear plan of action.
Exactly. Yes, that is true. That is very true.
I think once you have something that you can pour all your energy into, it's going to change everything.
Right.
And then boom, he handles that objection. He says 2 things there. He says to handle the finance one, he talks about the guarantee, which is like 2 months from now, if you go into this and you're not successful, just like use the guarantee and get your money back. And he's like, okay, that makes sense. And then in terms of the self-doubt one, he handles that by saying like, you just need a clear plan of action. And you can see his resounding, yeah. Like that's what I need. Yes. Exactly. That's what I need. So then you can see, like he's got this like wave of relief where he's like feeling good. And he's like, yes, like that's what I need. He hits him with a time objection, which is like, can I have time to think about this?
Is that something that I could look at and everything, or is this something that has to be done right now?
Depends.
So like I'm saying, look at the contract, read it, and everything like that.
Well, dude, I can go through the contract with you right now. Like that's no reason not to do it because I can just pull it up and send it over and we can go through it together.
Okay.
You can feel his like fear and resistance right now, which is like totally understandable. Like change is scary. But he already committed and said like, bro, if we can get the money to work, I'm in. And so Jared got the money to work and he's still not in. So there's something wrong.
Right. So, dude, just level with me. Like, what's stopping us from being like 100% in and ready to go? Do you think it's just a little bit of like fear, a little bit of nerves?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, I'm pretty not stable right now financially after, everything I just went through. So it's really just the fear of, taking out that much more.
So Jared basically says like, bro, like be candid with me, like what's holding you back right now? And it's just fear, even backed by a guarantee. He's just like so scared of what can happen. People are so scared to make a change in their life. So this next little bit with Jared here is just like class A mentality. I want you to watch through how Jared instills confidence in the prospect.
So it's that fear. It's that fear of, what if this happens? What if that happens? And now I have this, debt that I have to pay off. And that's really what it is right now.
Right. And dude, I totally empathize with that. This is the same point I was at when I was just in construction. Right. But can I share a quote with you that like, dude, really changed my life and helped me see things through like a different lens?
Yeah.
We can't become the person tomorrow by making decisions as the person we are today.
Okay.
And so, dude, like the fear and the anxiety you're feeling, that's normal. And if you didn't have that, I'd think you're an alien. I'm like, who is this guy? What's going on? Why is he nervous? Right. But the nervousness is a sign we're onto something good.
Right.
And it's a sign that we're growing into a new version of ourselves.
Okay.
Right. And so, dude, I get it's scary. I get like the nerves are high. I get finances are like a little tight right now, but that's obviously why we're talking in the first place. Right. And I know before we like started talking about finances and everything, you were like ready to go. You're like, dude, this sounds amazing. This is exactly what I need to do. Now that like the financing and everything's coming into play, the voice in our back of our head is kind of starting to get louder. And they're like, hey, don't do it. Like, just stay trucking. Right. But that's the voice that kept us there. Right. And dude, let me ask you this. Like, are you going to come in and go through all the training?
Yeah.
You promise me?
Yeah, that would be, 100%. I mean, if what you say is the truth and it is really something that can change my life, then yes, I am ready. Like I said, I'm pretty burnt out on this whole thing that I got going on here, and if I could really make a lifestyle change, that would really be something that would mean everything to me right now in this point in my life where I'm at with my family and everything else.
And then boom, he gets another commitment, little yeses, like yes, yes, yes.
So dude, do you truly feel like this is the thing that can do that for you?
Yes, I do. It's as long, like I said, it's just that fear, that financial burden, I guess I would say.
He says yes, but. So when someone says yes, but, they're saying yes, but they're not saying yes because the but represents the no. So his no is still fear. He says, yes, I think this can do it, but I'm too scared to do it. So again, Jared has to go back into instilling confidence into him and letting him know, like, bro, like, you've got this.
Right. And dude, super genuine question straight up. Do you feel like the people who live the type of lifestyle that we were describing we want to live make decisions out of hope, vision, and or like scarcity and nervousness and fear?
I don't know. That's a good question, though. That's a good. I really don't know. I don't know that many people that live like that, I guess, to be honest.
Well, you know one now, and his name's Jared. Yeah, Jared from Canada. And dude, I'll be the one to answer the question. It's the first one. It's making decisions out of hope and vision and hope for the future, not the current circumstance and fear and limiting beliefs. All right. So, dude, the reason I was asking, like, is this the right thing? Do you promise me you do what you need to do? Dude, if you promise me you're going to come in and work your butt off, I personally promise you this is going to change your life. And this will be everything you want it to be. And dude, once you spend 30 minutes in this training, you're going to realize that really quickly.
Okay. Now, just run me through how...
Okay, and then he just asks him, like, a logistical question about the program or whatever. Not really important.
My life changed. Dude, you're going to call me in 3 months from now, and you're going to be like, Jared, I just quit my trucking job. I sold my route. I'm a full-time appointment setter. I'm going to on track to make 10, 15K this month. And dude, you're going to be pumped. And you're going to be like, dude, thank you for helping me think about credit and investing and taking next steps for the future.
So again, boom, just giving him that confidence, like letting him know, like, yo, you've got the guarantee. You're gonna call me in 3 months. I went through this process. I know how you're feeling. Like, he's giving him all these things to just be like, bro, like, come on, like, make the change. It's like, it's go time.
All right, and dude, here's the reality. Here's a really, really hard question I gotta ask you. Right, and I get like you're nervous about the, but what are we more nervous about? What are we more uncomfortable about? What are we scared of happening more than the other? Having in debt or never getting out of trucking?
Yeah, I would have to say, the latter, definitely.
Damn. He asked him that question. That's a hard pill to swallow. And again, it's another commitment question, because he's essentially committing to not doing the trucking thing.
I agree.
Definitely.
Dude, the reason I'm at where I'm at is my biggest fear is regret and looking back at life and thinking, dude, I could have done more. Like, I could have made more money. I could have taken more risks. I could have seen more of the world. Why did I stay doing the same thing for so long? And dude,
Right.
that feeling and that fear is what got me out of construction.
Yeah, and that's basically how I feel right now. Like I said, 20 years of, the same thing, and growing and growing and growing, and only being able to reach a certain point.
Bro, that's so sad. It's so sad. Like, I know you guys can't see his face because I've blurred it, but like, you can just see the pain on his face. And it's like, I think just like a man seeing another man just like not live his fullest purpose is just like sad. Rom-coms make women cry, like action movies make men cry, like who are like living to their full purpose. And you can see like he's not living life to his fullest purpose. When I originally watched that, I was tearing up. I was really, really sad to watch that. And so from there, he only asks him one more question, and he gets him to commit to changing his life, to changing this, so he's not doing another 20 years of feeling this way of just like being unfucking fulfilled.
So dude, let's do it. I'm going to take care of you. You're literally going to have my personal cell phone. I'm going to make sure you're successful. Let's take the first step, put the $1,000 down. I'll start getting you added into everything, and then I'll help you game plan how to get the rest.
Okay. Could we go through the contract?
Yeah, for sure. It's going to take me a minute to draw it up.
Yeah, but
Let me ask you this, like 100%, everything looks good in the contract. There's no weirdness in there. Like, we're going to do it.
yes. I need to change my lifestyle. I need it. I need to change my financial lifestyle. There is no two ways about it.
Okay, so they open the contract, they go through it together, nothing weird stands out, and he basically says like, yes, let's do it. And before they do it, Jared gives him a really nice exercise here, which I really like.
Before we do it, let's take a deep breath together. You ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We got this. All right, say I got this.
I got this.
We got this.
Bro, why does it make me want to cry? It's so good, man.
Dude, I totally forgot most of this call. When you're closer, just like, you're just back to back all day long, all fucking week long. It's so easy to forget about specific calls, but that's hilarious. Say I got this.
You don't normally do that?
It depends. Like with most people, I do, or sometimes I'll be like, hey, look at me right now. Pinky promised me that you're gonna show up for yourself. You're gonna do what you need to do, and when you need help or you're struggling, you'll reach out to me.
Like, even if it doesn't work out for this guy in like this direction, like at least he's committed to change, and he knows he doesn't want to do what he's doing anymore, and he's like doing something different. Like, he's on the direction of like a better life. It's just like inspiring to see, man. I just like get all teared up looking at this stuff. Oh man.
You got what commission on this call?
My commission structure at the company is a little different than like typical closers in the industry, just because I've been here for so long. I've worked with Cole for the last like 2.5 years, so I've kind of like worked my way up to a decent commission standing, if that makes sense. But on this call, I think I made 1,280, so like 1,300.
And how much like actual time did you have to invest to make that $1,300?
How long was the call?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
And how many calls are you taking every day usually?
3 to 5.
Well, thank you for watching this live breakdown of a closing call. If you want to talk to Jared, click the first link in the bio, and that's going to give you a link to a video that'll show you if remote closing is right for you, and if this is something you want to get into. Thank you for watching. Catch you later.